Welcome, guys. We're just about to get started. Sit back in your seats. Get ready for the, well, a chat from the past. Otherwise known as the ear piercing that comes from the bellows of that Corvette engine. And a very warm welcome to you guys. It is the Circuit de la Sarthe, round 2 of the iRacing Fanatec GT Challenge. Look at that Corvette going around, absolutely flat flying. We've got a mixed bag today, so we've got GT2s, GT3s. Now I have been corrected in the last race, or from the last race. I got a comment from a well-meaning gentleman who informed me that I got it all wrong. So let's try and get it right today, at the very least. And getting it right with me, by the way, getting it right with me is the man himself, Craig King. Craig, how are you?
Oh, good evening. I am doing pretty well, thank you very much. It's quite interesting. We're at Le Mans. I'm pretty sure we've got 24 hours ahead of us. These beasts are going ahead and have just been passed a note. What do you mean this is a 30-minute race? I thought this was Le Mans 24 hours with the legendary GT1s and GT2s. Who's lied to me, Rob? Who's lied to me?
That was me.
Ah. Oh, that's a shame. But come on, how fun is this, though? I mean, a lot of people might have a bit of Le Mans fatigue after the race earlier today, but to have these GT1s and the GT2 Fords there around Le Mans today is going to be fantastic.
I mean, hearing the Corvette coming down Mulsanne, it's just noise. And it's just going to be a lot of noise for the next 40-45 minutes as they finish up their qualifying.
Yeah, I need to get a cockpit view of one of these Corvettes. Oh, that is such an amazing sound. Just going down, watching Kevin Bellens right now, the car number 4. He's coming down the Gulf Straight right now. He is probably the last car that will set a time. And it's just fantastic to hear. Listen, just breaking down he goes into Indianapolis. So beautiful, so loud, I can barely hear myself.
The only car in this...
He's twitched! Oh, no, I've jinxed it! I've jinxed it!
You've done it now. Oh, he's gotten going again. He's not hit the wall, but you did jinx him, so he's going to have to blame you for that.
I actually... No, he hit the gravel, that's the 1X. I don't know, he didn't actually. It might be a loss of control. But we'll wait and see. But while we are waiting to see what happened there to poor Kevin, a quick rundown of 9 cars to set a time. Out of those, 1 is a Ford, the rest are the GT1s, with Merrick Blom taking pole with the only time in the 348, a 348.290, with Anthony Fromont, a 349.096, and the number 1 car, Stefan Overgaard, a 349.158. Jonathan Rastanahura, 349.167. Lewis Holden, a 351.339. Leonardo Baeo, a 352.413. Chris Felstad, a 357.688. Damian Verano, a 3:57.713, and the lone Ford to make a qualifying time, which is Derek Rolleveld with a 4 minutes .144. And Kevin did indeed have his lap not count.
Oh, that's a damn shame. Well, he was doing well up until we cursed him in the pit box. It's a very cramped pit box. I don't know why have been given the ability to curse people on the track, but you know, we'll gloss over it. We'll gloss over it.
Yeah, we're fine, aren't we? We're fine. Let's say there's a few minutes left. Some cars are still driving around for some reason. I'm not sure why.
It's all about that SR and also, you know, getting them tires warmed.
Oh, and I've just seen car 16 Ricard Boberg do the exact same thing as Kevin did through Arnage. So that corner might catch a few people out today if they really want to push. But just to go down, we've got 1, 2, 3. We got 6 Ford entries. And because only Rolleveld set a time, they will go by iRating. So Ethan Bass will be second, followed by Clement Lefebvre, Gunter Sander, Jeffrey Mesa, and Thomas Davenport will be the order for the Fords.
Richard Roberg, by the way, he was just coming through the Porsche curves, taking the left-hander across into the wall, and the car slipped under turning anyway, and he hit the wall.
Shame. That is quite a shame. But that's a tough corner there as well. Indianapolis Arnage, one of my favourite set of corners. So I mentioned the 8 cars that were qualified for that set of time in the GT1. Just to go down the rest of the field, that will be from 9th onwards. Thomas Ferrier, the number 2 car, will take P9. Kevin Bellens will be P10. Mario Cream, Attila Lucas, Ricard Bobog, as we mentioned, and David Hudson. That will be the order of the back of the GT1 field as well as the GT2 field, the Ford, which we've already mentioned. So, any predictions? We're looking at, so it's 3:48, 3:50. So we're looking at GTE times for this race. So any predictions?
I predict you're right. Kevin Bellens just commented to us, asked the booth, by the way, put the commentator's curse on me, boys. We didn't do it intentionally. If we did, hope you guys in the YouTube chat are enjoying yourselves. Hopefully, we can put on a good race for you. Well, we won't put on the good race for you, but we'll broadcast it. You know, we'll give it our touch.
We had an amazing ILMS on Friday night. Probably one of the most entertaining races we have done. So you can always have a subscribe and have a look back at our previous broadcasts on Twitch and YouTube and watch that. The quite amazing action there. It was basically non-stop for the whole race. So do watch that, and also a schedule of the upcoming events that we are doing, as we have a couple events starting outside of iRacing officials.
Yes, we do indeed. Ready on TV as always. Shilling ourselves to the max. That is great effort by us.
Oh, I've got to. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and hit that bell. And there'll be some animation right next to what I've just said. But you know, we haven't got the budget yet.
Yeah. What budget? I have a non-existent budget to do these sort of things.
So we're just killing time at the moment. Quite a big gap from the Fords to the GT1s, but they are coming around to Corvette. So anytime shortly, we will hear the planes fly over with the tricolor. Now, what's louder, a Corvette or the French Air Force?
A Corvette, because it's American. I mean, I don't know how many of you were here for that first race that we did for the GT1 challenge. I had to turn down the volume, the master volume, because iRacing was so loud with those vets. It was killing me. I actually had to turn it down for the first time in my life. I had to turn down the volume.
Fun fact about the French Air Force: their planes are a little bit slower than the Red Arrows. So when they did a flyby earlier this week, they had to be on different levels, so they didn't look like they were flying away from each other. But they are coming out of Corvette and into Ford. Now remember, Don't. We got caught off by this. We forgot about it in the race on Friday. Pace car does not go off now. It goes off later during the Ford chicane.
It takes the Le Mans style late dive into it, but the GT1s are backing off as they come through Virage Ford onto the start finish line, and we are about to go green. The car number 3 takes the racing line. He charges. He does an LMP. He does an LMP2 in the virtual Le Mans. He is charging for Blom. Sorry, he is charging ahead. He is already a second ahead of them as they pass the start finish line. There is no carnage. Now, car number 1. Oh, the car number 1 has had an accident.
He's been tapped. He's been tapped in the back by, who is that? That looks like it's Jonathan Rasanoa, the number 5 car. Been tagged at the back there. Not exactly sure how much he's got there, but he has gone off again. Is that a separate incident? No, he's just been spinning around, and he is way at the back now. He's actually in the midst of the Ford traffic. While we go over the Fords, no dramas there apart from Stander took P2 from Lynn, and what's happened to Crime there as well? The number 13 car looks like he's got some damage, or he's had a slowdown. No, he's hit the wall. He has come out of the S's of Tete Rouge, lost control and hit the wall. So there's that is a serious damage as well. He's got Fords going past him with no effort whatsoever.
So far, we have not cursed these two individuals, but there have been 2 incidents, and that number 13 car on the replay is definitely very damaged. Ooh, that was very close. He almost hit the Gulf Ford that was coming through Tete Rouge, but he's got damage.
Also,
and he's gone off at Mulsanne 1, I think. Oh, wait, hang on. Let's have a look at this again. He's coming down into Mulsanne 1 of all places. His GT2's ahead of him had an accident. That is the French livery of, I think, the car number 5.
No.
Sorry, it is not the car number 5, it's the car number 11. Let's have a look at that again. It was the car behind him, crikey. The car behind him lost control and rear-ended him. Clement... Lefebvre. I think that's how you say it. Lefebvre. Not having a good day. He's got a lot of damage to that rear right of his car. And that was Thomas Davenport that had that incident. He lost control going into Mulsanne 1. And that's a lot of action for these poor GT2s. Well, GT2 in, like, asterisk.
Yeah, they're like what are they? They're called the Ford GT2/GTE on iRacing, which makes no sense. I want to just quickly point out here, in the number 4 car, Kevin Bellens. Actually, no, you say it. I don't want to curse him. But you know, he's making progress. He's making progress.
You've just said it, so he is not going to be cursed. You have just cursed him by attempting not to curse him, but he has made up 5 places from the start. And Bobber, by the way, in the number 16 car has made up quite a few places as well. I think that's well, he was started 13th, and he's now up into provisional 10th, so he's made up 3 places. Bayed, by the way, has lost about 5. I think it's 5 positions. No, it's 4 positions. Sorry.
Just watching car number 3, Blom, hit the Ford chicane. He would be the first car to see a lap. It's going to be an 8-lap race unless they go super fast. We may get 9 laps out of this. A 354.6 there for Blom with Fromont behind him, Holden in 3rd, and we see Ranazahora into 4th with Balance into 5th, Ferrier into 6th. Overguts has dropped down into 9th there as Velstad will take P7. So it's all changed around the front of the field at the moment, but with almost a 2-second lead, it's Brome ahead of Fromont.
All you can just hear is the big engines as they come towards the camera, and when you're following a DBR9 like I am right now, the car number 5 of Razanhadra I think that's how you say
Herrera.
There you go. It's some of these names are so difficult to pronounce, but we have got the corner names down at least at this stage, so we've got one out of two right. He is charging down towards the car number 7, who is just coming up towards Mulsanne 1. So GT1 field spreading out a little bit here now. No big dramas. Well, apart from Crime in the number 13 car, who had that incident in the exit of S2 Tetra Rouge, hitting the wall and kissing it, giving it the submarine kiss. And he's the only casualty so far of the GT1 field.
Yep, Stefan Overgaard, I was just about to say, Stefan Overgaard has finally got out and around all of the Fords. So that's taken him a while to get there. But he is now back. It's actually on the charge to Hudson. He's only 5 seconds behind Hudson. And what was Hudson's lap? A 4:12, which was a slow lap when you think of what the leaders are doing at the moment. So Overgaard, it sounds crazy in a 30-minute race, especially in Le Mans, might have a chance to make some places up here. And
never say never.
Blom has had a slowdown. The leader has had a slowdown by the looks of it, because he is now, where has he had that slowdown? But he is now on his tail is Fromont. Anthony Fromont, the winner of our first race of the season, is now a third of a second behind Fromont as they come down the Gulf Straight. He might make a move through this King. He goes to the inside of the King. Final King, you almost come together. Blom decides to make a move there, holds into the back of it, goes down into Indianapolis. Fromont takes the lead from Blom. Now, will Blom make a move after Indianapolis? We saw this Friday night in the LMP1s and the HPDs. Will he make a move into Arnage? They're going to go side by side, but Fromont has the inside. I don't think that's the better line to go as he cuts around. Blom gets a fantastic move there. He gets the around the horn, as I like to call it. Now they're side by side. I don't think they're side drafting with these cars. That's only NASCAR. Side by side they go. Fromont does get the advantage on the inside, even though Blom is in the middle of the track. He has to heel. He had a chance there, but I just don't think he had the right line. But holding on as much as he could, Fromont does hold it. We might have to keep an eye on this race.
Well, we are keeping an eye on the race, but on this particular battle, yes, indeed we do, because the two of them are now essentially in their own bubble. They're 3 seconds ahead of the next car running, which is the car number 7 of Holden, who is doing fine and dandy, but he's also under threat from the car number 5 of Raz. I'm not going to try and pronounce his entire name. Blom is going wide, coming towards Forge Canes, but there's been no drama, nothing else, no other real snippets of drama just yet. Lap 3 as they cross the line. The car, Blom had a really slow start coming out of the Ford chicanes onto the start-finish line. He's now 1.6 seconds. 1.6 seconds. Oh, he's now 2 seconds, so he's quite far behind now. Oh, did he finish serving it at the Dunlop chicane? I think he did. And now he's under threat from Holden, so it's now switched from a battle for first to second place, not wanting to lose second place. And it's a three-way tie between the two of them, because Raz, Holden and Blom are within 2 seconds of each other, and the third and fourth place are benefiting from the slipstream of the car in front of them. That's worth pointing out that Holden is closer to Raz than he is to Blom, so he will need as much aero help as he can. Well, aero, I say slipstream, and as much tow as he can get from Blom, but he's not in the right position to make advantage of it. He was to the very left of Mulsanne Straight, whereas Blom was following the GTE line, which was to straddle the middle, straddle the line.
I love that straddle middle. He's got a good move here, does Raz. He had a great exit out of the first Mulsanne. He's not taking the slipstream because he's going to be in the middle. We talk about this. It's the way the track works, the way the simulator works. You get in the middle of the track. You're not a low downforce car, and you just get a bit more speed. And here he goes. Look at the speed differential as he goes past Holden. He takes that with so much, well, a lack of effort, really. That was just so easy. Holden has probably also pulled back too much. He's almost a second behind now. from Blom, from Raz, and Raz is now catching Blom. Also to say, that was I don't know where the slowdown was for Blom there on that last lap, but it must have been during the entry to Fort Chicane, because he did not record a lap, which suggests he had a slowdown there, and I'm surprised he decided to wait until the end. But we're looking here, car number 5 attacking car number 3, it's Blom and it's Ranazza, and they're both part of the VEC Sim Racing team. That VEC, yeah, VEC Sim Racing team. So it's a team battle right now for 2nd and 3rd, and they've got to play this right, because they could pull away and basically just make it a 2-horse race for 2nd and 3rd.
Look at the podium, as it were, because unless Fremont has an oopsie, you know, it's hard to say whereabouts they'd make an oopsie or have an incident. But the main points for the GT1 cars is definitely into the braking zones. They're very sensitive when it comes to braking. You know, when you need to balance the car when you're going into the braking zone, and then when you're exiting, you want to feed in the power. You know, you want to feed in the power as fast as you can, but if you feed it in too fast, you can risk, especially when you're coming out of the corner and straightening the car could try and turn itself around, and you're facing the wrong way. You're essentially facing the guy that you've just been racing.
Yeah, you got to be careful. We did see with those braking in the qualifying laps there, and the little bit of practice, we saw what happens to the GT1s when they come to a hard braking zone, similar to Arnage or at Arnage. So they've just got to keep it easy, especially when you think these are GT1s, but really call them GTEs with just how they go around this track. They don't have the downforce to go some full speed around Porsche and full speed around Corvette. So just hold on. Holden is out of the tow now. As kind of a 5, Ranazza, it will try and make a move onto Blom, but does not get it, and Holden is not in danger of anybody else as he blinks.
He's oh no. Oh dear.
He has not. Please, no. After he just went purple as well, do not tell me he's just lost connection. Do not hand the 3rd place back to Lewis. Oh, that's hilarious.
I can't look. I can't look.
He's gone. He's gone.
Somebody cue the violin. Somebody cue.
Ground control to Major Jonathan. Where have you gone? Take your protein bars.
Oh, what? Ethan, what? Ethan Bass, by the way. I want to replay this. Sorry, just 1 second. Replay of this. It's the number 1 and number 2 for the Ford GT class. Ethan went wide going into the 2nd set of Ford chicanes and then gave up. He just said, no, I'm not going to make that. I'm just going to cut it. And he's handed the lead to Rolleveld, who's now sitting comfortably about half a second ahead of him.
And also half a minute behind him is the rest of the GT, is the rest of the Ford field. What on earth has happened between these lot? It's interesting to see this. Are they just struggling? But it is a 2-horse race for 1st and 2nd in the GTEs right now, with Bass just in the slipstream there of Rolleveld. So will be interesting to see what happens. These things, I know they're not cursed anymore. They had an update to them. So let's give credit where credit's due. They have had a change. So I don't think they're as cursed as they used to be. But
somebody in the chat can let us know about that, if they are cursed or not. Neither of us drive the Fords, so.
Also, pour one out for car number 5. Razanarahara has left the server. He's back though, but
that's unfortunate.
He's gone. Yeah.
We send our condolences in the booth. It's getting humid in here, but as we ignore the humidity and ask for an air conditioner, we are seeing Bass closing back the gap. He made 2/10 on Rolleveld on that section of straight alone between Mulsanne 1 and Mulsanne 2. Rolleveld's he needs to keep it up. He needs to keep gaining momentum through the corners as much as possible. He needs to keep the rolling speed above that car, because Bass is able to sneak up behind him and go, "Oh yeah, you thought this was guaranteed for you? Funny that." And it's going to be very tight, especially if they come up through Gulf Straight.
Has he gone wide?
He has gone wide. He's handed the position back to Bass. most definitely has handed the position back. Bass is just ahead of him. They're clear now as they come up through the first kink of Gulf Strait. You can see the Rolex sign popping in there. But pardon my sarcasm. Ethan Bass has now regained the lead of the race. I don't think Roosevelt will make a move coming into Indianapolis. He might make a move before Porsche curves, though. Comment to the booth: the GT2 was never as cursed as the GT3 version. The GT2 was never cursed at all. It is a real life car which race at Le Mans.
I just want to say, we were talking about Ethan Bass there. Roosevelt would never make a move on Bass going into Indianapolis because Bass, as we all know, is running the Golf livery Ford, which means he gets an instant 20 extra horsepower for going down the Gulf Strait because he is the right car. Just like how the Corvettes get a little bit of advantage going through the Corvette curves. Of course, I'm being sarcastic, but it's so nice to see a Golf livery out here, and it really is like an homage, to the past. But is holding on there. A little bit of a twitch coming into the start of Corvette here does hand the advantage back to Roosevelt, and that will allow him to make a move. But I'm not sure if he'll do anything here. Just wait for Ford. Now, will Ethan get this right this time? Will he get it right? He hit the brakes, hit an early set of braking for the first part of the Ford chicanes. Gets the first part right. He's going to take him this time, and he does get through it. And actually, he gains time as well, so good going there.
Quickly now, as we see Sven, or I think it's Sven, Overgaard. Sorry, I think I might have butchered his name. It's Stefan Overgaard, the car number 1, who had, I think he was the car that started the race. It was indeed. He is now up to 8th position from last, so he has made back 5 positions in the span of 15 minutes, and he's about to make it his 6th if he can execute this correctly. He is hugging the rear of Chris Felstead. He has used the slipstream very nicely as he makes it a 2 wide going towards Mulsanne 1. And look at that, just a nice clean move from him just before Mulsanne 1.
A little bit dirty, so I was just giving a little bit of a rocky middle of that Mulsanne 1. I'm just looking at his times. He did a 53.2 that last lap. Felsen doing a 4 minutes, so not sure how much time he'll be able to catch now. Car 14 is Leonardo Baeo, which is the next car up the road. He's 9 seconds ahead of Overgaard. And they were basically matching lap times the last time. Now, granted, Stefan would have been fighting for a couple positions, so we don't know how much that plays. But now he's got a bit of clean air, Stefan. Would he be able to put the pedal to the metal there? Use that Corvette power there and make some time. So we'll keep an eye on that, while we also keep an eye at the front of the field. It is still, I don't want to curse, not going to curse. It is still car number 8, Anthony Fromont, in the lead as he comes around Indianapolis and he comes to Arnage. I have cursed it, I know it. It has to be a curse. Every time I've said something, he comes to he's fine. I'm just worried, people. I'm just worried.
The idea is that you don't say it and then it won't happen. But another incident that happened when we weren't looking was an incident involving Raz. I will see if I can get that on the replay, but he is now down in 13th position.
He's down in 13th position because he had that disconnect, didn't he?
Oh, he did. That's sorry. I keep forgetting he's the person. I keep forgetting him with or keep mixing him up with Mario Krim, who had that crash in that Corvette coming out of the Porsche curves and retired the car.
So we do have, though, that's the car number 19. It's Damien Bajara. He actually has had something. He must have gone for a bit of a trip around here. Oh, he's had a trip into the gravel at Mulsanne 2. He lost 2 places with P10, now running P12. The car spins left as he's hitting the chicane. That's very weird. It looks like he's gone a bit too hard into there. But the car, he doesn't even get a chance to turn right for the chicane. It's almost like he's just kept turning left. That was very weird there, but keeps the car out of the barriers. He is running P12 now, unfortunately. But in front of him, is Lucas and Hudson, who are having a mini fight themselves. So he might be able to make some time back up.
That's a very nice rear chrome. I do love the fact that you can definitely see the chrome versus the matte finish between on that. What was that? The number 15 car, Lucas's car. It's very nice, and they're going to be battling coming into the Forge Canes. But there's another battle going on. We didn't curse this fella. Here's the video footage to prove it. He is just 1.2 seconds behind the car number 7 of Lewis Holden, who, by the way, is running, I think, the modern day version of the, I think it's the modern Aston livery.
It is, yes. It is, yes. No, Kevin Bellens, 1.2 seconds ahead of you were mentioning there from Thomas Ferrier and, no, sorry, Holden. 1 second ahead of Bellens. Bellens is a couple seconds ahead of Ferrier, so he does have to worry a little bit behind him, because that does mean Ferrier does have a bit of slipstream. But Bellens is catching Holden. This is your battle for 3rd place in the race, as we are halfway through the race as well. There's only a couple, not even halfway, sorry, with 10 minutes left into the race. So Bellens does have a chance here if he just keeps on. And it would be great, because the Corvettes, they need to beat the Astons right now, because it's an Aston Martin Uno dos Tres, or basically, as we say in England, because they're a British team, 1, 2 and 3, mate. We've locked out the podium. I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you see how much that Corvette lunged at that Aston going into Mulsanne 2? And the gearbox, it was scary how close he got. Bellens, I think, just has much more confidence in the car as he's just slowly creeping up on him now. Will he make a move going into? He won't.
I will say this is an open series, is it not?
Yes, indeed.
It's an open series, and I just want to give a shout out as well. Of course, we've got Nils, who helped, and Tanner and everybody, who helped get the GT1s back up going. But also, there is a man who also helps with setups in this car. We do have, it's Thomas Muller, who's not racing at the moment. He does provide setups for the community for this race, so don't feel like you have to turn up to this race and just run the baseline. There are setups out there, and I mean, we don't really have to plug it, but setups for iRacing, where he does post a lot of these. So if you do want to give this a go, by all means check out the setups and check out the iRacing forums to see when we go racing, because there are a few races each week that go official that are organised by the community. So don't just think you just have to come to this one race, because there's more than just one race for these beautiful machines.
Craig, you remember when you said Thomas Muller? Yeah, it's Dan Muller.
Oh, how did I get Thomas Muller from? Oh, I'm sorry, Dan.
Reading the papers too much. But yeah, big thanks to Dan. You know, there's really no excuse. You're definitely not going to be off pace for these guys. I think they all really, it's really an open asterisk setup. It's mainly Dan putting in extra big work to get the 2 of these cars, you know, all set up, all really racing to the top of their A game, really. And he does it for free, no questions asked, no monetary return. He just does it because he loves the cars. And we want to give him big props for that, because it does help when the new players, or when people are just looking at the series for the first time, they definitely want to be able to have a good setup, and one for free is just all the better.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to search. I mean, you can do it yourself, but there's loads of ways you can get help out there with setups, but having something that you can take and with advice from others, tweak as well, and that's one of the good thing about the community. So it's the same with the GT1 and the Ford community here. So it's great to see. We have 2 laps remaining while we get back to the racing, and there are 2 big battles happening right now, and they are between the 7 car of Lewis Holden and the 4 car of Kevin Bellens. That's for 3rd and 4th in the GT1s, and we still have this battle in the Fords. Ethan Bass just under half a second in the lead from Derek Rollerville. So those 2 will be battling, as well as the 2 there. Your leader at the moment is Anthony Fromont, who was 2 seconds in the lead going into the start of this lap, but it's a 1.5 seconds ahead of Bloom. Will Bloom, able to make a move at the last minute?
I tell you, we just saw Bellens take third position. It is now an Aston 1-2, but the Corvette is now on the third step, cheering his head off because he is now the lead for the Corvette. Or I accidentally called them the Causes. I was about to call them the Causes for a second, but they're going nearly side by side. The car number 4 of Bellens dives to the inside for Mulsanne 2 to prevent the car number 7 of Holden from making a move in that particular slot, so he's going to have to wait for another corner to come around. But you can just see it, you know, at 320 kilometers an hour, slamming the brakes, coming down to about 130 kilometers an hour going through Mulsanne, 130, 150 kilometers an hour going through Mulsanne 1. It's incredible speed these cars are carrying as they go down towards these individual corners. The GTEs definitely would not, I don't think they get up to that kind of speeds at all. In those areas, even with like a ludicrous setup. So to see the GT1s do it is, it reminds me of a HPD in disguise. Really, with these cars, they can have so much horsepower, you know, and so much torque being put out through them. But the GTs give them a leg up and have a leg up when it comes into corner stuff. I think the GTs have a lot better mechanical grip. These GT1s are sort of what are brakes and what is turning left and right. But they are still going around as we cut to the G2 battle of Ethan Bass and Rulleveld. Rulleveld is not making a move coming into Mulsanne 2. He might make a move coming down towards Mulsanne chicane, or wait until Gulf Straight to make a move coming towards Indianapolis and seal the deal for essentially that last half of the lap.
Oh, we've had an incident. We've had an incident at the bottom of the barrage of Mulsanne. There was a car. What's happened there? There are 2 cars there. We've had Boberg that's gone off, and at the same time, David Hudson before him did the exact same thing, and they have both slid out, and Hudson hits the inside of Mulsanne. But at the same time, Boberg, as he starts to turn, loses it, and he crashes out as well, but no damage. He's able to keep it going, so we'll lose the position there to Panjaro, but we'll be in the fight for it. But in the meantime, Bass still holding on there to Rulleveld as they hit Indianapolis, and at the same time, Holden is now, as they hit the white flag, on the battle here with Bellens. And do I see Bloom? I see Bloom in the slipstream of Fromont.
Oh, you just saw it there, Richard Boberg. No incident whatsoever. Ooh, Christ, the rejoin. A little bit too risque there, Boberg, but no accident cause. He's still racing.
Oh, no accident cause. Still racing. Half a second right now. Here we go with the business end. The final lap of the race. The business end. Fromont, half a second ahead of Blom. He's actually making a little bit of speed here. What's going on here? Bloom is not able to hit the top speed that Fromont is. What is that setup, and what has Fromont put into that car? I would love to have some of it. He's actually gained a third of a second through the straights, and, well, Raz has decided that he can't make the corner. He's going to go on the exit here. Just going to be a little bit easier. I think he's done that just to get out the battle. He's aware of the battle. This is interesting. I don't see any damage on any of these 2 cars, but Fromont has the speed. And then, what a speed! If he's pulling away still. What speed has he got?
There are 2 battles right now. There are 2 battles. Kevin Bellens and Lewis Holden. Kevin Bellens just, well, 3. 2 in GT1 class and 1 in the Fords. Kevin Bellens and Lewis Holden are within 1.1 of a second of each other as Holden goes on the outside. And Bellens, oh, they go in together. Bellens has to yield the position because he does not have the inside line going into Mulsanne 2, but he's got the outside. He's just charged around the outside of the car number 7 coming out.
How did they do that? How did they do that? First of all, how did Holden try to make it stick when he was on the inside after being forced to the inside? And then how does Bellens hold on to that when he's on the outside? What? That's just smart driving by both of them as well, playing it really smart. So holding on now, they'll go for round whatever this round this is now. They've been going around.
I just had to cut across. He did have a little bit of a touch. The car number 7 of Holden had a very slow middle section of the Mulsanne 2 and they touched, but he kind of before Bellens definitely had the
side by side they go into Indianapolis right now. It looks like Holden does have the advantage, but he breaks early because Bellens is on the inside into Indianapolis, and Bellens then takes the line away as they hit the main part of Indianapolis. It's still Bellens in P3 from Holden here at the moment. At the front of the field, Fromont is coming down into Porsche. He is still a second away ahead of Blom, so that's not a problem. Rollerveld is making a move right now, going into Mulsanne 2. Cannot make it on Bass, so Ethan Bass going to find another day as cones go flying from elsewhere on the GT, on the Fords there. What's happening now is the P3 and P4 of the GT1s hit the Porsches. It's still Bellens from Holden.
Oh, let's go to of the field now just to quickly see the cars come around. The car number 8 of Froman looks like he's about to win the second race. It's 2 races in a row now he's won. Coming across the line, Blom I think has yielded that fact. He's going to take a nice cool second place, so definitely not a loser in this category. Nice second place from him. He had a very nice consistent drive, flashing Froman to congratulate him. Now very quickly go back to these two, car 4 and car 7. Bellens does indeed take the win, or the win of the third place, and Holden takes 4th place. That was a very nicely fought battle. There's this pairing right here, the Gulf livery versus the blank car, coming down into Indianapolis. The cameras are trained on these two. Do not avert your gaze, do not avert your eyes. You're about to see the big old Fords having one great battle for the next half of the lap.
Here we go. We are here now. Bass does have the lead, and he also got a better line there out of Arnage. But this is the last big straight. This is the Busan straight. Can Rollerveld do anything? He will need to get nose to nose and force the issue into Porsche. He isn't nose to nose, and he has to give up. He has to yield there. He can't go aggressive through the first part of Porsche. Going to the second part of Porsche right now, there is nothing here unless you want to force the man onto the wall, which I would never advise. In they come now into Corvette. Bass, that's a little bit of a sketchy moment there. You just lay on the braking and wide, keeps it safe into the second part of Corvette. Will any of them get a slow down? Both keep it safe there. Rollerveld pushing now. He has to make a move onto Ford right now. You cannot make a move onto the second part. We'll try and go for the dive. He cannot make the move. He will have to concede unless Bass has another moment here at the chicane. I cannot see it. Brakes early there just for the first part of the chicane. It will be a sprint to the end, but Rollerveld slides out to the back. It will be Bass taking the win here from Rollerveld. Great little battle there at the end for the two of them.
What an absolute great race. By the way, Kevin Bellens says, that went better than last week. Well, Bellens, that was a very good race between yourself and Holden in P3. Well done, mate. That was a really good race. A really good race overall, especially the Fords, even though there were only 6 of them running and one of them retired on lap 2. Ethan Bass and Rollerveld's definitely giving us a good show this week. Now, very quickly, let's go over the results, shall we?
Let's go over the results. There's actually two Fords still out on the field, but I don't think they will matter. But for your GT1s, your winner, car number 8, Anthony Fromont, makes it 2 broadcast wins from 2. P2, it was Emeric Blom in the car number 3, just under a second behind. P number 4, Kevin Bellens, after having the commentator's curse put on when in qualifying, no curse during the race, makes up 7 spots into P3. Lewis Holden into P4, could not get that battle done. Thomas Ferrier, quiet race there, get the top 5. Leonardo Bayo gets a P6. Stefan Overgaard fought back to P7 after getting spun at the start of the race from P3, so a great recovery there. Chris Felsted will take P8. Attila Lucas P9. Richard Boberg will take P10. Damien Bejara will take P11. 3 cars that were not on the lead lap that did have incidents for the GT1, in the following order: Jonathan Ranazahora, David Hudson, and Mario Cream, who crashed at the start of the race.
We'll go with the GT2s, the Fords. Bass with that great donuts, those great donuts at Dunlop, by the way. that's going on the books. A very well-deserved win in first position. Roeleveld, definitely cannot forget about him. He definitely was fighting up until the very end, so he definitely gets a well-deserved second place. Sander down in third, a minute and 20 seconds behind the two main fighters and competitors. Davenport behind him, or well, 34 seconds behind him in fourth position, and Mesa in fifth position, about a minute, just over a minute behind the fourth position, as Roeleveld is losing, is nearly out of fuel on the Gulf Strait. As you said before, there were a few people that did not make it to the end. Let's have a look at them. So the first retirement really was Crime. I don't know how you say that. But he was the first retirement out of GT1 class. Behind him was Lefebvre, who retired after being, well, he got rear-ended by Davenport, who had lost control going into Mulsanne 1. It's very unlucky for him. Very, very unlucky. Hudson 2 retired with one lap. Or no, he didn't retire. Sorry. I think he was a lap behind. He was lapped because he had to take a pit stop to repair damage.
He crashed at the end, didn't he? He crashed at the end, didn't he? He crashed down down Virage de Mulsanne. I think that's what we're thinking of. That's what happened to him, unfortunately. Yeah, he did have a crash, which was a shame.
And a special shout out, by the way, to Raz, who was fighting for third position at one point, and then iRacing happened. He got disconnected. An absolutely heartbreaking thing to see, and the cameras were pointed at him when it happened. So I feel so sorry for the poor chap. He was running really well in that race.
You curse him, or did I curse him?
I cursed him, probably.
Okay, that's fine. We're one for one.
What? So it's now flip flop, is it?
Yeah, we're even.
So, question to the YouTube chat and to Twitch chat. What do you guys think of that race in particular? The Phoenix Wild was mega. It was not an easy win at all. So I'm assuming he's either Ethan Bass or Anthony Fromont. You probably let us know.
I just want to say I've noticed that there is a nice, it's a lot of French drivers in this series, which I find fantastic. I've always had some good times with French gamers from my years ago from commentating and other stuff. So it's always nice, and I must apologise because I have an idea of French names. I've got some French friends, but I apologise if we do butcher your names. And if you do feel like letting us know, we are on those Discords, we are on those forums. Just let us know if there is a way we can make it easier to pronounce your name, because I do feel so guilty sometimes when I see a lovely name and I don't understand it, and I can do my best.
We collectively butcher it together.
It's a shame. Yeah, it's one of the things when you do commentary, you're told if one of you calls a name a certain way, you both call it the same way. How do we do it when we both have no idea how to pronounce it, which is the best thing in the world?
We just call it
the worst thing in the world.
We just call it whatever we think of.
We'll call a spade a shovel.
Yeah, that's essentially the comparison. But who would be your driver of the day?
Bellens, gotta be Bellens. I mean, he fights the commentator's curse and gets away with it, so has to be.
Well, I mean, I'm going to agree with that. Let's hope we haven't cursed him for the next race, shall we?
Touching wood. I've just touched wood. Don't worry.
Well, yeah, you're going to have to, knock on it very hard to not curse him. But guys, that is it from us. At the end of the day, what do we say, Craig?
Thank you very much, everybody. We will see you next time. And goodbye.
And that's the same to me, guys. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the race. It'll all be, once it's processed, it'll be up on the channel for you guys to watch back and enjoy how we mispronounced all of your names at every stage and how we've butchered so many people's last names. And all the great driving we've seen so far, guys. You've put on a really good show. It's a testament to the driving skill that you guys have and how close you can race together. Take care, guys. We'll see you next week. Stay safe.